Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Social Register Network's Members Business Connect, where we get to know another member and you get to know how you can support them, but also how you can become a power player to one another. So today I have Monina Fernando, who I'm going to bring on right now, who is in Orange County. But as you know, as a member, you don't have to be a member to connect with Monina, but as a member, you also get to connect nationwide. So it doesn't matter where she is, you'll be able to connect with her virtually. I always say connect via a Zoom coffee chat, or if you happen to be in the same city, then make that connection and find out how you guys can support each other. So today we get to know who she is, what she does, why she does what she does, and also how she got into her business. So, Monina, welcome to Biz Connect, which is our member spotlight.
Hello, good morning, Mary Grace, and good morning, everyone. It's a privilege and honor to be here. Thank you, Mary Grace, for having me.
Of course. I've always, enjoyed speaking to you ever since we met. You've always had like this bright spirit. So I'm excited for everybody else to get to know you. Just one housekeeping item for anyone who is watching. If you do comment and you are logged on Facebook or YouTube, it doesn't capture your name and let us know who you are. So if before you comment, if you can just slip your name into there so that we know who we're talking to, that'll be awesome. I do see a quite a few of you watching. So if you do comment, please put your name in the comments. All right. So without further ado, Monina, please introduce yourself, tell them who you are and what you do.
All right. So, again, my name is Monina Fernando, and I am here in Brea, California. Uh, I have a background in nursing, more than 30 years in nursing.
Wow.
So, I guess that ages me. And a background in entrepreneurship. I am a financial professional, and I started this business in 2017, so 2018, almost 6 years now,
Mm-hmm.
together with my husband and actually my son. Um, we started this business because of my son. My oldest son, who is 29, did not want to go to college. And as Filipinos, we were always told to go to school
Mm-hmm.
and get to college and graduate, right? So it's something that we wanted for for our children too. But when he said that he didn't want to, we realized that we cannot push him, uh, because it's just a waste of time and money and all of
Yeah.
that. So we had to find something for him. And fortunately, we have friends around that actually helped him. And when he said yes to the business, we were only supposed to support him with the business, be there for him, and all that. But when I was exposed to the environment and all the things that I learned,
Mm.
uh, I started to fall in love with the business. And fast forward, here we are. It's a family business of me and my husband, and actually my two sons. Both of them are licensed. So all of us are licensed in the business.
Oh, that is awesome. So when you were trying to find something for your son and he got into it, were you still a nurse or were you transitioning out?
I was actually I'm still licensed as a nurse right
Mhm.
now, but I'm not doing nursing. I had a business. I had a home health business for more than 16 years. I had an agency in also in Orange County in La Palma, and I sold that business in 2017.
Oh,
So when he started the business, I was actually transitioning out of that business and started maybe consulting a little bit. So, but now I'm completely out of nursing. I still have my license, but I really don't practice
you're not
anymore.
practicing. Wow, so you've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years because 17 years owning your own.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. My dad always told us, you cannot be an employee forever if you want to control, your time and the amount of money you want to make. So, that was always something that he instilled in us. And actually, my uncle helped me open up that home health business. So, my family, most of them are in our business owners.
Oh, that is incredible. I didn't know that about you. See, I learned something new too. Well, I'm going to tap into that entrepreneur side of you a little bit later in this interview because I want to focus on what you're doing now and how you help people. So, can you elaborate more on what you do for people and why you do it?
So when I transitioned from nursing to finances, not everybody. Well, I'm gonna talk about myself. Sorry, I'm gonna talk about myself. I was not really into finances. Everything in our household, financially, was handled by my husband. Even though I was a business owner, I only focused on my business, but our household, it was always my husband. So getting into the financial world is something that was not really me, right?
Mm,
But the best part about this business is you can be anyone, you don't have to have any experience, and you just learn as you go along. So when I learned about all these things about finances, about what we can do for families, I immediately transitioned myself from my passion into helping people as a nurse into a purpose in making an impact to many,
yeah.
right? At first it wasn't something innate. I'm like, how can I teach people? How can I teach people about finances if I really didn't know anything about finances? I grew up in a family um, that didn't really, we were not wealthy. We were not rich. I grew up with parents that didn't really teach me about money. When I was growing up, they told me to go to school, get a job. Actually, they wanted me to become a doctor because, as we all know, doctors make good money, right?
Mhm.
And then retire. They always told me to make sure that I work hard and make money so I can be comfortable in life. And that's something that my husband and I did. Both of us, me owning a business and him being in the corporate world, being a VP of finance and the manufacturing company, we both were making good money, six figures, both of us. Um, but no one taught us about saving.
Mm,
So when I suddenly realized that when I joined this business, I sold my company, so we became a one income household because it was only my husband who was working. And I was involved in the business, but not really involved. I thought I was retired, so I was just going to relax and not do anything. But in 2020, right before the pandemic, right before the shutdown, my husband was actually let go, squeezed out of
mm.
his corporate job. So if you can imagine us being a two income household, and then we became one income household, and then become a no income household.
In
I don't know about
California, that's,
in
yeah.
California. I don't know about you, but I panicked.
Mhm.
Actually, I wasn't the first one he called when he was let go. He called our mentor because he needed some positive enforcing there because he knew that I was just gonna panic and I was gonna cry. But luckily, we were already in this business, so we all what we had to do was just work harder in the business, right?
Mhm.
So it was actually more of a blessing for us rather than really looking at it as a disaster,
Yeah.
right? So, now because of what we went through, I want to make sure that people are prepared. So
Mhm.
this is something that I'm very passionate about is educating people because I wasn't educated, and when life happened, we were caught off guard because we didn't save enough money. So we want
Mhm.
to make sure that people are prepared
Yeah.
for whatever comes in their life because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right?
Mhm.
Because life happens.
That's life, and
Yeah.
it's different for everyone, what will happen. Um, you there was someone else I met that actually went through something similar too. And I love that she also shared that because of what she went through, she's now in a business that she's educating more women to help them with understanding their finances. And that is one reason why you and I connect very well too, is because you're in it to educate. You're like, yes, I own this business, this is what I do, but I really just want people to understand their finances. Especially, I think you and your husband mentioned families, like people who have young adults in their family, so that we can teach them how to manage their money and ensure that they're prepared as well. So what are those some of those ways that you guys help people?
So what I've learned in this business really, the very bottom line of our business is really life insurance.
Mhm.
And I'm sure a lot of people have heard about, life insurance. I call myself as a financial professional because we just don't talk about life insurance. We talk about how to increase cash flow. We talk about how to manage debt. And if you're managing your debt and you're increasing your cash flow, how to actually have an emergency fund, save money for that
Mhm.
emergency. And as you all know, that if there's an emergency and you have money, it's not really an emergency, right? Because
Yeah.
you're able to manage that.
Mhm.
And then we teach people about life insurance because a lot of people either don't like to hear about life insurance or they really don't know much about life insurance. I was the same way. All I knew about life insurance is that if when I pass away, my kids are going to have something.
Mhm.
But we teach people to make sure that they're not only properly protected, but adequately protected. So they have to have the right kind of life insurance. Retirement planning, because most of us, that's our goal, right? That's the goal of you working. But
Mhm.
a lot of people, they think about retirement, but they really don't know how to navigate that, and they don't know how much they really need when they retire. And if you don't have a target, how can you hit that target if you don't have a target itself,
Yeah.
right? And the last one that we actually teach is having a living trust in place, a living will and a trust in place. So those six things we talk to people about, and we help them in every single area of those six things, and we call those six steps to financial wellness or financial freedom, because we believe that if you're all um, aligned or congruent, or you know your rating in those areas are perfect, then you can say that you're prepared, and you can say that you're financially well or financially fit.
Mhm.
So
Wow, that's incredible. It's beyond the life insurance. It's really supporting an individual with their financial wellness. A lot of people who are listening, who are going to also listen to this and catch the replay, are entrepreneurs. So I want to know, the one question I have is when it comes to retirement, right? So my husband works a corporate job, and I've come from corporate, and I know that there are things in place in corporate to prepare for retirement, 401ks, all the things, right? All those things. So as you as a financial professional, how can you support entrepreneurs in preparing for their retirement? What are some things that we can do, kind of like what we were doing when we were part of corporate?
yes, because as entrepreneurs, and I can say this because I was a business owner with my home health agency, and I thought my business was the one who was going to was the thing that's going to retire me,
Mm-hmm.
right? That business was going to retire me, but it didn't. I sold the business, right? And for many many reasons. So as early as possible, when you hear pay yourself first, that's where you actually do it. Think about, because you're doing the bit, you're actually in business because of you and your family.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you have employees, and yes, you think about your employees. If you have a business, you think about them, but really ultimately your business is for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
So why don't you pay yourself first, right? Why don't you save that money first? And there's a lot of vehicles that you can use to save money, and that's something that I really never learned before. I only knew of the bank. you know,
Mm.
you put your money in the bank. But if you want to save money, you want to make sure that you put your money in a vehicle where you can get the maximum return, right? A
Mhm.
good rate of return. And you may or may not know the bank does not really have a good rate of return,
No.
right? So your money in the bank is not really working for you,
Mhm.
um, because of inflation, right? The value of money is not there. So there's different vehicles that we sit down and talk to clients about, and that's another thing. When we sit down with the client, we have to look at the whole picture. We as a nurse, and you're used to hearing the holistic
Mhm.
approach, right? Because you look at everything. And
Yeah.
as a nurse, when a patient comes in the hospital, I ask them all kinds of questions about themselves, right? In order for me to provide a solution. And that's the same way we do it here. We sit down and talk about it. We do a complete analysis of what they really need and what they really need.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so for anyone's listening, because I know that you now want her contact information, how can they get in contact with you if they just want to consult with you and find out what are those options and how you can help them?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook and
Mhm.
LinkedIn. You can contact me there, and you can also I don't know if I can say my phone number. Actually, my phone number is out there. People are calling me, but best way to contact me on my phone is really to text me, because I don't answer every single phone call that
Yeah.
comes in. So text me or message me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm public, so it's easy. It's easy to reach me.
Yeah, we'll make sure that I drop your Instagram link in the description because I know that in your link on your Instagram, you have a page that has all of your contact information and they could reach out. So what we'll do is direct them to your Instagram, then they go to your link and I think your phone number is on that page as well. I think I've seen it. Yeah. Awesome. So, Monina, you have been a entrepreneur for over 20 years. So I have to ask, because we're all entrepreneurs here listening, is what are some of those things you've learned in the last 20 years? I know there's a lot, but maybe choose one that kind of stands out for you.
The one that stands out for me right now, and I really didn't think about this even when I had my home health business, because
Mhm.
on my home health business I never really had a mentor. I learned everything on my own.
Oh, wow.
But in my business right now, we have a mentor, and I have people around me that can help me in my business. But the one thing that I've really learned is the belief in myself. um, I don't know about everybody else here, but you know, believing in myself was always hard. It was always difficult. I don't know why, but because there's people that are believing in me. It's like I don't have a choice, but everyone's telling me, "Oh, you're doing a great job and you did a good job with this and all that." And even now with speaking, I was very uncomfortable speaking, but because people believe in me, we have a mentor that pours belief in me even when I didn't believe in myself. It makes a huge difference. So that's one thing that I think the most important thing that I've learned throughout the 20 years,
Wow. Yeah,
to
that
believe
is a
that I can.
huge one. It is. And I love that you pointed that out because, I mean, it's not every day that you're going to believe in yourself or you're going to be walking in courage and confidence. I think I shared with the ladies at the summit, I think I shared with the team actually. So I think you heard this is that sometimes you feel not worthy or you feel like, oh my gosh, this is happening for me. And you just, for whatever reason, your subconscious or your old beliefs start to trickle in and you have to remind yourself that you believe in yourself, you are worthy, this is for you, this is because of you, and a lot of things happened for you. And that comes with having the right people around you. I think that no one has made it alone, and I think Leslie, one of the speakers at the event, mentioned that she believes no one is self-made, and I believe that too. And
Yes.
it comes with, like you said, mentors and having the right people around you. That's actually why Social Register was created. Well, my vision of Social Register was created is that I believe businesses fail in within the first 5 years. 50% of them fail is because they don't have mentorship, community, resources. Because from there it trickles out to everything else. So I love that you mentioned that. Thank you. Um, what is one thing, because of course there's always a good and there's always a bad, so we're not gonna hold out on that. What is one thing that, if you could tell a new entrepreneur to be prepared for, what would that be, good or bad? I think let's give them one good and one bad, because not bad, one negative, one thing that we run into that you are going to overcome it, but be prepared for it.
The rejections. I think the rejections, especially for us, because not everyone is not everyone will really listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, only the right people. You can never say the wrong things to the right people, right? So I used to cry when someone said, especially if it was my friend or someone close to me, you know, the heck, you can't support me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the rejections is what made me tough in this business. And I guess because I have a mentor and I have that environment, it doesn't face me now, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe once in a while, but I think this is something that you need to prepare for. There's going to be
Mm-hmm.
rejections, right? There's going to be highs and lows in the business. The one thing that I've learned is there's going to be lows, but try not to stay on the low, right? When you're down there, have someone pull you up. Go outside or meet the people that would really lift you up, right? Don't go to someone that will tell you, "Oh, it's okay,"
Yeah.
They're just gonna join your pity party.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna go to someone who will just go for it and just do it. So that's one thing that you know that I think people should prepare for as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
How about something on the positive light? Because that's kind of like a challenge, right? So how about something on the positive light of an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Being an entrepreneur, the time that because you control your time as an
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur, right? And even though you think that you're working 24/7 because you're thinking about the business, that business is it's really your life. It's a normal conversation for us, for me and Gary, right? For me to sit down and talk to someone about life, about um not just finances, but growth and the mindset. You can make an impact, you can make a difference. It doesn't matter what you're talking. Maybe someone just wants to listen. So
Yeah.
this is something that I've learned here is to really go out there and spread the light, right?
Yeah.
You have something to offer. You may not know that at first because I didn't know that, but you have something to offer someone. Your smile, just to listen to someone, just little words here and there. And as an entrepreneur and what you're learning, for me, what I'm learning in the business, if I can only spread that to somebody else, that's something that's um, fulfilling and satisfying for me. So, I've made so many friends. I think I told you that I used to not
Yeah.
want to talk to people. But as an entrepreneur, you have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
To. And, I think making a difference is something that's very fulfilling. And that's the purpose, right? When I said my passion and it became a purpose, that's something that, I love doing.
Yeah, I always say that because there's a lot of entrepreneurs, especially newer ones, that are not comfortable speaking with people or not wanting to get out there. And they think that they open business and then people will just come and frolic in and, yes, I need you. But what I always say is I try not to be so like crazy blunt, but it is the truth, right? That when you become an entrepreneur, you basically made that decision to show up and to show out, meaning show up for yourself, but show out and give your all and serve other people. And whether that means you're going to do something that you're not really comfortable with, because I think you and I shared that same where we don't like public speaking, but because of the purpose behind it, you're like, okay, I will do it. And that's kind of what I tell myself. I have that pep talk
Yes.
before.
And every morning, Gary and I have this prayer that
Mhm.
we always say is we always pray to God every morning, what do you want me to do for you today?
Mm.
Because we always ask God for something, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm asking God, what do you want me huh, what do you want me to do for you today? And I know it's something that's going to be impactful, or I'm going to impact someone,
Yeah.
right? And if I don't go out there, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that. That's exactly what write. So I journal. And one of the things I write at the end after I spill my whole venting session is I always ask God, you know, continue using me as that vessel and whatever that is for me today, who I need to talk to, what I need to do, just send it my way, whatever that is. Because regardless if you believe in God or universe or your intuition, it doesn't matter what your belief is. um, I truly believe is having faith in something, that there is a higher power in something, because if not, then we're just here. What's the point of it, right? We're just doing. And so my neck this leads me to my final question for you is, what keeps you going? Because it's not easy to be an entrepreneur, and you've been one for over 20 years, especially with, some bumps in the road too.
What keeps me going is my family. Um, this is going to be a little bit emotional. My family, right?
Mhm.
They're my wise. I do everything for them. I know my kids are older, and they're, of course, you want them to be independent, but I'm still doing this for them because my husband and I want to create that legacy for them.
Yeah.
I want to pass it on to their generation and the generation after that. So what we're doing is really, yeah, for them. They're my wise. They're what keeps me going. And if everything else fails, and when I have that moment in a day where I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. I just think of my two kids and
Yeah.
maybe my future grandkids.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Because I think for a lot of people, our why is our family. Like you mentioned it in your interview that we own a business, we are entrepreneurs, we're doing what we're doing. Yes, for our team and for our employees and to create impact and purpose, all the things. But we do this because it's for ourselves and for our family. Like we are doing this because we want to create legacy. We want to make sure that our family is financially taken care of and that our kids and the generation after that. I think also when you say legacy, what I hear is we want our future grandchildren and grandchildren after that to understand that there's more. Like there's more to life than going to college and then, doing the norm, that you can
Yeah.
actually accomplish happiness and fulfillment and joy in doing different things. How you and Gary have done things differently. Like you come from the corporate, you are an entrepreneur, and you can do different facets of business and still, provide. You can still be happy. You can still have time freedom, because I do see that a lot in you and Kuya Gary, where you guys go on walks, you're able to travel when you want to. This is the beauty of, being an entrepreneur and having your own business.
Yes, exactly. I mean, even when I had my home health agency, I didn't have that time freedom
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
they needed me in the office all the time. Here, we work our 2, 3 hours or maybe 8 hours today, and tomorrow we're doing something else. you know. And I never really thought that I could work with my husband. Uh, I always had that mindset that no, I can never work with family, because we're just gonna argue and stuff. But the best part about this working with Gary and being with him all the time is that we're working on our dreams together. We have a one common goal that we're able to talk about the business, and both of us knowing what the business is all about. Because before, he was working his thing and I had my home health. He doesn't know anything about my agency, and I don't know anything about what he's doing. But now, because we're in the same platform, in the same business, and we talk about life, we talk about our dreams, we talk about our goals, so it's so much, much better.
Ah, okay. I lied. I have one more question because you brought
Oh,
up, working with your spouse. Because I know there's, a lot of women and men who maybe are thinking about opening a business with their spouse, or maybe they are already working with their spouse and there are some challenges. What are some tips you can give when you're working with your spouse? Because I know I do have a couple of members who own a business where it's husband and wife, or, their significant other.
yeah. This is where great mentorship really help, because yes, we do argue. We do argue. We have different. We were both bosses, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were both bosses in our field. So can you imagine us being working together,
Mm-hmm.
and oh no, we're supposed to do that. We're
Mm-hmm.
arguing. But again, the best part about it is at the end of the day, we can sit down and just talk about what we went through. We find each other's strengths and we work with those, right? Like
Mm.
in our business, Gary's strength is more of the numbers. My strength is more on talking to people, creating that network. So I always say I'm the marketing department of our business, and he's the financial services business.
Yeah.
Because when I talk to someone and they're interested, then I bring him to Gary.
Mm.
So we're not always, when you talk about being on the same page all the time, we're not always on the same page. And
Mm-hmm.
my mentor always tells us you're not going to be on the same page all the time, but the most important part is you have to be in the same book, because the
Mm.
ending will be the same. So
Yes, yes. I love that. And it's working as a team. So that is a great tip to find each other's strengths and what you each are great at, and then, take over those places. Be the bosses in those in that department.
yeah.
I love that
Mhm.
tip. It's, I joke around because in Orange County, a lot of people have the opportunity to meet my husband, not in Vegas because he works a corporate job, so he's always at work. But when we come to Vegas, it's kind of like his mini OC. It's his mini vacation, so he comes to the events, and they always say, they either call him my employee or something, and I'm like, oh no, that's the boss, because I joke around that I'm like you. I'm the face, like I'm the marketer. I'm the person who can talk to people. I can get on the mic. Brian is more of the money and the like behind the scenes business. And so when it gets to like the serious level of business, I'm like, okay, well, you're gonna have to talk to me and my husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're right, finding those strengths in each other and understanding that, because then you are able to stay in your lane, is kind of what I say. Like, stay in your lane and come together, and how you can
Right.
bridge that together.
Yes, that's
Ah, that
right.
is awesome. Well, it was so great talking to you, Monina, and thank you so much. We had Sabrina logged on. She said, "Hey, it's Sabrina." She was saying hi on here because I said, "Say who's on." And I really appreciate you sharing how, entrepreneurship has been for you for the last 20 years and how people can work with you. I think that we also need to do some kind of workshop around financial education and ensuring that entrepreneurs know that there's an option for them, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs that I've spoken to that are always looking for like health insurance, because I know that you physically may not be able to get that, but you will find a way to support them.
Yes.
Because I had a member actually share that with me too, that they were like, oh yeah, I'm talking to Monina about health insurance. I was like, oh, they do that. And I think just knowing that you guys are a resource to business owners and entrepreneurs, I think that's great to know.
Yes. And I think that's my goal. I mean, and I'm meeting, my goal is to meet people so that when someone comes up to me and asks me for something, it doesn't necessarily mean the service that I do,
Mhm.
but I can connect them with someone. Like kind of like a one-stop shop, but I'm
Yeah.
not the one who's really doing it.
Exactly. And that is how people need to view themselves when they're going out networking or anywhere, that they're not there to just sell their business outright, that you're there on how to find out how you can serve other people, how you can be a resource to them. And I think if people, made that their goal versus going to events to just blatantly talk about their business and only their business, they would find a lot of success in what they're doing, whether it
Yeah.
be online or, out there in person too.
Because you're the brand, right? You said this so many times. You're the brand and people are buying from you. So
Yes.
it doesn't matter what company you're in. I can be in another company or I can be doing something else. But if you're not thinking of yourself as the brand, then it's really not effective.
Yeah, it
Um,
isn't. It isn't because your brand follows you no matter what you're going to do for business. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Monina, for sharing your insight, but also allowing me to share you with the world. We will make sure that we have your Instagram dropped in the description. So, everyone, please follow her. Monina is a great person to have in your circle because she is all about educating, but also how she can support you, as you can see. And also, if you are in Orange County, book a coffee chat with her and meet her in person because she's so fun. I always have fun with her. I'm always like, dude, you have a lot of energy. She's dancing, moving
yeah.
around everywhere. I'm like, I don't know where she gets all this energy, but I need to be around that. Is there anything you want to leave them with before we close it out?
Well, for all the entrepreneurs out there, just keep going. Um, don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. Believe in yourself and just keep going.
Yes,
And if
thank you.
you need to talk, I'm here. Just like what Mary Grace said, I'll talk. I'll listen. I'll listen. There you go.
Yes, yes, and she'll dance too.
Yes, and I'll dance. If you want me to dance, I'll dance for you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Monina. And if you are a member of Social Register Network and you haven't booked your Biz Connect Member Spotlight, be sure to reach out to us because this is another opportunity for you to, let people know that you're here, that you do business, and that they can connect with you. All right, till next time. Thank you so much, Monina. We are signing off. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.